Good morning, everyone from the UK. I'm Peter Jones. We did a survey a few weeks back now, and I did a Facebook Live last week. That was on the subject of education, and this is very much about what our capacities and capabilities are. And the second item in that survey was to do with food security. Now, a lot of the people we talk to are in rural Africa. So this is our view from PrinterNet affiliates about what we see and what we can do. I'm sure everybody knows that African weather is often quite harsh. We can have typhoons, we can have flooding, we can also have drought, there's crop loss, and people go hungry sometimes as a result of that. So water management is critical. Where Jonas is, if it rains a lot, the river floods. So that's a difficulty. It can be that crops can be lost as a result of that. So conservation of water is important. And also the redistribution of water is important. Saw a really nice video last week, I think, about damming a river with a sand dam. Very interesting, very useful. So that's knowledge that can be useful to people where they are. And that's possibly something that Jonas can do. As we also know, chemical crop techniques, as suggested by Big Agri, tend to kill soils, as does deforestation. Madagascar at the moment is an example really of what not to do. Hopefully we are able, over time, to be able to get a better message out there about better soil management techniques. That's something that we want to do. And we have plans for that. So a little bit of that covered last week in education, but we are looking towards Facebook Live, like this particular presentation, as a means of getting a message out there. Now, what we can do instead, and this is what we are looking towards doing, excuse me for a second, is to share regenerative agriculture techniques in WhatsApp groups. Now that's something that can be energised and scaled up and gamed. There are various things that we can bring into WhatsApp groups that will help to share better techniques, healthier techniques that actually preserve and build soil quality rather than destroying it. The other thing is that ideally we can get the crypto communities involved because they're quite good at funding things and they've got clever ways to bring money in. And we'd like to bring that into African rural communities as well, but that may be a later step. But why not share knowledge and information about regenerative agriculture? Now, we do need people in the community to step up and do their bit. So there's kind of a community pledge needed here. It can't just be about one person. That's a conversation I have a little too regularly. People need to share on behalf of other people. You know, that's a simple pledge to the community that can be made by any African who's on a WhatsApp group. If you see something useful and helpful, maybe you make a video of something you've done, share it. Let other people know. Don't just keep it to yourself. You know, shared knowledge is a powerful thing. And sometimes it might even be that we need to translate those articles. There's a group I know, lots of sharing going on, but it's all in Indian. So there's an activity there about how do we translate the Indian into a broader language. It could be English, it could be Spanish. There are more, broader languages out there. So we have a couple of existing practitioners in the PrinterNet affiliates. We have Jonas Chadwick, in Malawi. We have Oliput Charles in Uganda, and we have Stephen Putter in Zambia. Now, I've learned a lot from those guys. They're all doing good things where they are. We'd like to see the sharing on a wider scale. But interestingly now, Stephen advises me he's planning to come and set up in Malawi. So he's got a big setup in Zambia. He trains people. He shows people what to do. He helps them on the land. They can develop farms from scratch. And he wants to come and do that in Malawi. So that's really interesting. And I hope that'll happen in short order. And if there's anything I can do to help, I will try to help. So what do we want to do longer term? One of our contacts in the PrinterNet affiliates is a lady called Rosanna. And Rosanna has a very strong focus on permaculture, which is another word for regenerative agriculture. A label I use sometimes is biointensive, because it's not chemical. And what we want to try to do is to bring in more Facebook Live training sessions, adding exercises that go after the training sessions, so we can see that people are learning and are bringing in regenerative practice. And video is going to be a very important aspect of that. And that's why we're talking about the WhatsApp groups. I've got itchy nose. Because, we want to see that progress happening. And video is a fantastic way to do that. Most of our PrinterNet affiliates have got a smartphone. They may be the only one in their community, but they've typically got a smartphone. I know Canon's isn't working at the moment. We're trying to sort that out. So that's a definite possibility. If you see an idea, if you get some training on the subject via a Facebook Live session, and we suggest to you an exercise that you can do for yourself, then go and video that and talk us through that so that we can see that learning and growth are taking place. Thank you very much.